that you really want to see me review. Today we are kicking off my new product review segment on my channel with a Battle of the Concealer breakdown. So I have the new Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Concealer, and then I have the new Rimmel London Stay Matte Soft Matte Concealer. I'm not necessarily insinuating that these are potential dupes for each other, more so just really wanting to test out both concealers and review both at the same time. If they end up being dupes, great. Without any further ado, let's get into the review, starting with the product breakdown. Let's go. Starting out with the Rimmel Stay Matte Concealer. This is obviously a part of their Stay Matte line. They have a Stay Matte foundation. They have the powder that everyone's obsessed with. Comes in 20 shades, which is honestly amazing for the drugstore. I believe Fenty comes in 50, but considering that Rimmel is drugstore and it's cheaper drugstore, I think 20 shades is really good for the drugstore, and they seem to have at least 5 pretty dark options, so that's awesome. It is an instant flawless coverage that lasts all day long. It is a creamy long wear concealer that helps to hide imperfections and dark circles to reveal a flawless complexion. It says that it is humidity proof, sweat proof, and heat proof, and it leaves your skin shine free for 24 hours. I found mine at my local Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada. Just looking quickly on my phone, I can't find any pricing information for this, so I'll try and find pricing online. I know that it's not available on Shoppers Drug Mart online yet. I know Rimmel's not available at Ulta, so I will do some sleuthing later on and leave all the links down below. And you do get 7 milliliters of product in here, so forever how much you're paying, 7 milliliters is a pretty good amount for a concealer. The Fenty concealer comes with 8 milliliters. This comes with 7, so you do get a tiny bit more in the Fenty one for a lot more of the price. It retails for $32 Canadian, and it comes in 50 shades, so that is incredible. There's like probably 2 rows and a bit of really dark shades compared to the Rimmel concealer that had like 1 row of deeper shades. They have a ton of pale shades, ton of varying undertones and stuff, which I will get to. So far there are 213 reviews on Sephora, and the average rating is almost 4.5 stars. It is a creamy long wear crease proof liquid concealer, so this one claims to be crease proof. The Rimmel one didn't. It says that this is light as air, medium to full coverage. From the videos I've seen so far, this isn't very full coverage. That's interesting that it claims to be. And it says that it brightens under eyes and conceals blemishes and redness. So no crazy claims there. It's not claiming like the Rimmel one to be like 24-hour wear, which I think is kind of bogus, but it does claim to be crease proof, which again I think is kind of bogus, just because if you have lines under your eyes, they're gonna crease. My under eyes crease with every concealer. Let's get into the product demo, trying the products out. I did first do my eye makeup. I used the NARS Ignited palette. I will link it down below, and I used lashes from Ardell, the lash book. I forget what they're called. I will link them down below. For foundation, I went in with the Boudoir Paris Healthy Mix. I picked this up when I picked up the new Rimmel concealer, and I've been loving it. It looks so incredible on the skin. I love it. I was thinking of doing a full wear test on this, a full review, so if you'd like to see one, I can do one, but if you don't want to, then quick synopsis is I really like it. It's an amazing foundation. Fenty on the left. I want to go in with a decent amount, and I want to bring it really into that inner corner. Okay, so that is the Fenty concealer, nice and bright. Very definite difference in color, shade, and tone. I will say, just going on first application, this one, the Rimmel one, feels a lot more smoothing and just like more skin-like. I can already tell that the Fenty one is a little sticky and dry, so let's see when we blend it out. Okay, so that is how the under eye is looking with both concealers. I think it looks pretty good. Obviously, the Fenty side is a lot more brightening because it is a very light color for my skin tone, and the Rimmel one is a really good match to my skin tone. It still brightens a little bit, but it's very true to my skin tone. As for the blendability, I found that the Fenty side blended a lot better than I anticipated that it would. As I said, when I first put it on, I thought that it was like a tiny bit drying, a little bit sticky, but I think both blended out really nice. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and spot conceal all of my areas that I want to spot conceal. For my left side of my face, where I have most of my breakouts, I'm going to apply the Fenty concealer which is gonna look a little stupid just because it is so fair, but I'm not going to bake today. I'm just going to set it with my normal face powder. So I think that that should help to take away that insane brightness. I just have a little darkness around my mouth here and a little redness there, but I think that's about it for my face. So I'm gonna go ahead and bounce this out with the Beauty Blender. I think that that blended out really nice over my breakouts. It did a good job of covering. That goes for either side. I was worried that the Fenty side wouldn't cover as well because it was just so light and it would just brighten and accentuate and it wouldn't have enough pigment to cover. I've seen a lot of people say that it's not very full coverage, but I think that it concealed my darkness really, really nicely. I do like the brightening on this side, the Fenty side, but this is really nice too. Both are creasing a tiny bit just because that's the nature of makeup. If you have lines under your eyes are going to crease. I'm just going to zoom in a little bit before I set with powder so that you guys can really see what's going on under the eyes. So this is how each side is looking initially under the eyes. So this is the Fenty side and this is the Rimmel side. I would say that the Fenty side is looking a tiny bit better, obviously brighter, and it seems to have one major crease, whereas this side has two, but that might just be the way my eyes are. So that is how we're looking before powder. And now I'm going to go ahead and powder my face. I'm not using an under eye brightener powder or baking powder. I'm just going to do my whole face with my Pixi color correcting foundation powder in #1 cream. I've been loving this. So I'm going to go ahead and look up and set my under eyes with this smaller brush. Then I'm going to go ahead and set my entire face with my favorite Sephora Pro Airbrush 55. I would say that the Fenty side is looking a tiny bit worse. Again, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys so that you can judge for yourselves, but I just feel like the powder is settling in worse on the left side, so I'm going to zoom in so that you guys can see. Now that I'm looking in the camera here, I'm thinking the opposite. I'm not sure, but this is the Fenty side set with powder, and this is the Rimmel side set with powder. Okay, the time is now 4:26, so I'm just going to go off camera. I'm going to watch some Netflix and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'm going to come back and check in with you guys on how it is looking after the rest of my makeup is done, how it's settled into my lines, if it's settled, in general, how it's looking after I finish the rest of my makeup. So I will be back once I am done the rest of my face. So my initial impression is that the Fenty concealer is better for full coverage makeup, and that the Rimmel concealer is definitely better for day-to-day wear, because I did wear this all week to work and I absolutely loved it. So I'm glad I tested this out beforehand, but I'm not loving it for like full coverage glam under my eyes. But I really do like the look of the Fenty one in comparison. I think that the Fenty one does look better as of now. So I will check back in a couple hours, but that is my guess as of now, and I wouldn't be surprised if this side, the Rimmel side, just gets a little worse and this one just kind of settles into my skin like any concealer would. But I'll update in a couple hours when I'm ready to take off my makeup, so I'll talk to you guys then. Okay, so it is currently 7:54, basically 8 o'clock, and I know I said that I would wear this as long as I could, but I think I have a conclusion on both of the concealers, and it's not a good one. I just wanted to show you what we are working with under my eyes. So this is the Rimmel concealer, and this is the Fenty concealer. We have extremely bad creasing from both concealers. The Rimmel side is definitely worse in my opinion. I don't feel great about either of these. They blended out nicely, so perhaps it was the way that I set it with the Pixi powder, because as I said, I have been using the Rimmel concealer for a couple days now and I've really been liking it. So for now, I am definitely not wowed by the Fenty concealer, but this is my first time trying it, so I will definitely keep playing with it. I did really like it upon first application. It was very nice and brightening, so perhaps if I didn't set it or set it with a loose powder, it would be much better. As for the Rimmel concealer, this was my first time using it full coverage, full on under the eye, but when I was using it throughout the week for work, I really liked it. So I would say for spot concealing, the Rimmel concealer is great. For everyday wear, less full coverage, just like concealer and no foundation, no powder really, just concealer and like a mascara kind of day, I would go for the Rimmel concealer. I do really think it's good, and the wear time on that is amazing when you're just using it to spot conceal or conceal under the eyes with nothing else under there. Yeah, let me know what you guys thought